I will say this. Randy Gregory could have the most sacks for the Cowboys this year by one of their players. So, Randy Gregory has had one of the most interesting career arcs that we've seen in a decent amount of time in Cowboys history, where he's had the suspensions, the on and off play on the field, and then off the field the issues, and now being poised going into 2021 to make a lot of noise. We're hearing a lot from training camp of how explosive he's been, how much of a monster he's been on that defensive line. And, sure, there are moments where we see him get shut down. It's just, the guy is a natural pass rusher. He has it in his blood. And we've said that for the longest time that he could be, and, if he reaches his true potential, the best pass rusher that the Cowboys have on the team. Now, I do want to have a side note here. Luckily, he is not going to get suspended for marijuana because the NFL has gotten rid of suspensions for weed. And thank God they did that, because it was a really stupid thing, even though the NFL is still fining players for smoking weed, which is really stupid. But that's besides the point. But I will say this. Randy Gregory could have the most sacks for the Cowboys this year by one of their players. And I said last year, if Randy Gregory can in fact get 8 or more sacks, I will get his jersey. I'm going to extend that bet. I'm going to go double or nothing, and hopefully I am correct, because I would love to see him come a long way. If he gets 8 or more sacks this year, I'm going to get a Randy Gregory jersey, and I mean that, and I pinky promise everything. So let's see how that goes. But either way, Randy Gregory has come a long way, and I'm so glad that he is now going to be able to show what he's got. Now, to be fair, we have not seen Randy Gregory play an entire 16, now going on 17 game season, with him being one of those main guys. But when you look at his statistics, I'm looking at it right here. In 2018, 6 sacks, and he only played a handful of games. You have 3.5 sacks last year, and he didn't really get a whole lot of time either. So, the way I look at it is that, he can be a dominant pass rusher on this defensive line if everything goes well. And what does that mean in totality in terms of his contract? I mean, the Cowboys are going to have to look at giving him another long-term extension, because his deal expires this year. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking to re-sign him. And I don't see a reason for why he would want to leave, considering how the Cowboys have continuously... I feel like that there's a loyalty there. I could be wrong, but if you're the Cowboys, I would consider trying to get Randy Gregory re-signed before his price tag goes all the way up to the roof. But there's a possibility that, hey, I've heard this in some circles. I'm not saying I agree with this, but if Randy Gregory does extremely well and Tank has another down year and he doesn't really perform well, is it time to move on from Tank? But I'm not going to get into that until we actually see him play, and we'll talk about that as the season goes on. But the way I look at it is that Randy Gregory is poised for that monster year, and I want him to showcase his talent to the NFL world on what he's made of, and it's a long time coming, and I don't want to go on forever, but the fact that, we've seen the glimpses of him being that guy, but then as he's coming along, he's had, the whole thing yanked away from him, and, on and off and stuff like that. I'm glad that he's gotten a full off season to get acclimated. I'm glad that he's going to be able to get started week 1, assuming that, knock on wood, he doesn't get injured. But I'm really glad that he's there. And by the way, he brought up a good point, Can we please move the Cowboys training camp out of Oxnard? I do not give a damn about the legacy there. I don't want my players getting hurt. So, Mr. Jones and Stephen Jones, if you're listening, please move training camp back to the Star. I would greatly appreciate that for the sake of our players. I don't want them getting hurt. Or make the field better. Little side tangent away. I think that with how well he's been doing in training camp and all this other stuff, I think Randy Gregory, if you were to like tell me, hey Space, what do you think he's going to do? I think he's going to have maybe 6 to 10 sacks this year. I think he might have a Robert Quinn type of presence if you like compare that to 2019, where sure, Tank isn't getting a whole lot of the sacks, but you have a guy on the other end of him that's getting most of the production as a result. So I'm really excited to see him play, and you should be too. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to keep this going on, so I'm going to cut it here short. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button. It helps the video out in YouTube's algorithm. Subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. And down in the comment section, tell me how you feel ultimately about Randy Gregory and what's going to happen this year with him. And I'll check you guys out in the next one, guys. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.